It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. We are humping our way through us and Nicole Kidman. We will talk all about Nicole Kidman and her orgasms on today's show. It's Wednesday, October 23rd. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal hump day. How are we humping? I mean, how are we feeling? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling top of the peak. My kids don't have school tomorrow and Friday, so this morning my son was running around being like, "Mom, it's Wednesday, Friday." It's like when Friday. It's when Friday. Yeah, it's not my when Friday. It's just Wednesday for me, but I am so happy every day is Friday when I'm hanging out with my dosers. Everyone, we've got a fun show today. We're talking about all kinds of Bravo news. There's good news, there's sad news, and then there's a Real Housewives of New York, which I don't even know where to categorize this. This just kind of fits in somewhere. Not really sure. But of course, we have to talk about it. So, everyone, get cozy because this is your daily dose of Donna. Mark Ward also doesn't have school tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, or ever. So, cheers to those who are never in school again. But you guys, actually, you are in school. This is school. So, everyone, sit tight, sit down, don't make a peep, raise your hand before you speak, and I don't know, pop quiz. Pop quiz. Who is officially the most annoying housewife on Real Housewives of New York? And if your answer is not Brynn, then you lose. It's just like Josh, who put in our Facebook group. By the way, have you joined Daily Dose of Donna Facebook group? We're growing, we're showing, we're here, we're queer, we're all the things. We are dingalings. Yes, you guys all agree it's Brynn. You've won. You won. You win. Hanging out with me. On the Facebook group, Josh posted an FMK. That's a F. I'm not going to say it, but it has something to do. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Cody Brown. This is a Cody Brown story. So we'll go into a sentence that Cody Brown said on Mondays or on Sunday Sister Wives that we didn't even talk about. It was wild, but it's an F and it rhymes with duck, marry, and then kill. And it was Craig, Andrew Garfield, because we were talking about Chicken Shop Date that day, and Cody Brown. And I said, if you don't all answer, kill Cody Brown, you are kicked out of the doser community. That should be the question. Like, you know, when you enter a Facebook group and they want to make sure that you're not like a bot, that should be the question. FMK, and it's just Cody Brown. So it was a tough one, you guys. It was a tough question between would I marry or F Craig or Andrew Garfield. And I actually think I would marry Craig. Not because I wouldn't want to marry Andrew Garfield, but like we know that Craig is an amazing husband. Like we've all decided that, right? Craig will sew for you, he will cook for you, he will now bake for you, he will make honey for you, he will build a home for you. He's an entrepreneur, he's making good money, he's building a lovely, 401k, I'm sure. It's going to be a great dad. I mean, Craig, he'll be able to he's going to sew the baby blankets. He's going to sew the burp cloths for the baby. He's going to sew the first onesies. But Andrew Garfield has the accent and nothing beats a British accent. Do you guys agree? Okay. Let's get into the show today since I do have a heart out. The bell will ring at some point today. Oh, Michelle does bring up that Andrew can't even ask out Amelia. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to Monday's show. We talked about this YouTube viral, adorable kind of like It's like this flirting. We can't really decide if it's real or not between this girl, Amelia, and Andrew. And they have this really adorable sexual chemistry. I don't even know if it's that much sexual. It's just like this flirty, adorable tension. It's kind of what Brynn wants with every single person, human or inanimate object. Like literally, Brynn wants this with a phone. She wants to have that kind of connection with anything. But Andrew and Amelia have it, but apparently he hasn't even asked her out. But we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe they have gone out. Maybe they have actually had sex before. We don't know. Now, secondly, I didn't mention this yet. Cody Brown said a comment on Sunday Night Sister Wives that some people have a relationship. Some people like these marriages, and he calls them the F and F. And I was doing my workout. I was working out from home Monday morning. And I was doing a chest fly. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I almost dropped those weights straight up on my face when he said the F and F. And he goes, and one of them is fight. It could be the fight and blank or the F and fight. And all you're left with is a whole bunch of orgasms. I mean, can we, is TLC allowed to do that? Has anyone talked about this yet? F and F orgasm. I need to find him saying this. Oh, someone posted it. Oh, this is good. Instagram TLC posted it. Let's watch it together. If I get a freaking copyright situation on this, I will be livid. It's not worth it, Cody Brown. It's not worth it for Cody Brown, but it's kind of worth it for Cody Brown. Let's watch Cody Brown and his F and F theory about marriages together. Of course, it's on the TLC page.
PDA because I had 4 wives and it was just always awkward. Never.
I don't think that's the one. Hold on.
You don't know you're in a bad relationship. You just think you're in a normal relationship because all your friends have the same problem until you're in a normal relationship that has deep emotional intimacy instead of some people call it F and F and the second word is fight, or F and F and the first word is fight. That doesn't create intimacy. That just creates orgasms. You don't know you're in a bad relationship.
You guys, I apologize for anyone that's eating. To think of Cody Brown and the word orgasm in the same sentence is so outrageous. There should be a trigger warning, red alert, like duck for cover, not safe for work when he talks. His words, his face, his hair. Can you imagine that man on top of you? I am so sorry that I exposed you to that. But sometimes we have to see how bad things are out there to realize how good we have it. And I'm saying that to anyone that is single. You have it better than Robin. Murray has it better with no one than Robin. Do you not agree? I'm sorry, you guys. For those of you that just barfed, that's a perfect segue to talk about Real Housewives of New York later. Today's themes of the show are vomit and orgasms. Literally, we're going to be talking about both of them. It's so gross. Like, I don't know which one. I would rather, obviously, the latter. Let's be real. Crazy stories today. Well, in some news, I was very annoyed last night. Now, I don't watch Dancing with the Stars regularly. I really don't. Okay. However, and I did last season. I was obsessed with last season. I loved Ariana. I loved so many of the talent that they hired. My husband works on the show and he knows this. I told him, I was like, it's just not doing it for me, the cast this year. Like, it's just not sucking me in. I mean, while they're adorable, like Alona's adorable and the pommel horse guy. And of course, I love Phaedra. Like, it's not enough for me to watch the show. And I'll watch clips online. But I was annoyed last night because it was like 7 p.m. LA time, and I'm scrolling Instagram, and sure enough, there's a freaking spoiler alert, like one of these Instagram accounts, like Queens of Bravo or Bravo and Cocktails or one of them. It's so annoying. You guys, we're on the West Coast. Straight up, right there on Instagram. Phaedra Parks has been eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. It hadn't even aired. It's not even that it was in the middle of the episode. It hadn't even started airing. It's so annoying. I got annoyed by that. Like, at least put it in your post in like the second or third picture or in the caption low below. It bothered me. I'm really sorry, but that bothers me because you can't avoid it when you're just scrolling Instagram. Oh, Bridget says we hit 16,000 subscribers. How exciting is that? And this is specifically for the person that really doesn't like when I play music. I'm going to do it just for you. Everyone, it's time to dance. It's the 16K party. Is everyone starting to dance? Robot. This is when it gets crazy, okay? You guys ready? I hope you're dancing with me. Let's burn a calorie or two. Set your watches. What if I'd started doing the Running Man? Keep subscribing, and every time I get another 1,000 subscribers, I will continue to dance. Lisa said Donna had some gummies. The truth is, just extra strong cup of Joe. It's a cup of Joe here. Phaedra Parks was eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. And I am so bummed about that. But really, the truth is I don't watch it, so it doesn't really matter. Anywho, let's move on. Another story. This is so sad. Michael from Southern Charm, Michael, the butler, Michael Kelcourse, who was Southern Charm's butler. That's Patricia's butler for so many years. I wonder if in this article it says exactly how many years he worked for her. Has finally passed away after being very ill. He was in some sort of a rehab facility after having a stroke and then recently having another stroke. This poor man, he really, really had, I think, a tough final few years of his life. He was 71 and he died yesterday on Tuesday. His close friend, Luzanne Auty, announced via his CaringBridge website that he had died from complications related to a spinal cord injury and stroke. His health issues began in February 2021 when he suffered an acute spinal cord stroke that caused significant nerve damage and impairment. As you guys remember, Michael had been working for Patricia. He was the best martini maker. No one made a martini like Michael. She always talked about that. She really struggled when he moved out. Of course, it was right around, it was right after COVID, and she just never really felt like anyone could do it. I think that I truly believe a lot of times when you develop these relationships with each other, you kind of, it's never the same. I believe they were somewhat family. She spent 18 years. Wait, hold on. Yeah, 18 years with Michael. It says that he had just been served one after another, like kind of bad health issues. That's what tends to happen sometimes when you have bad health and you just like one thing leads to another and to another. So he was in hospice and his health worsened in early October when he suffered this debilitating stroke that paralyzed his right side and without the ability to speak. He spent his final days enjoying one of the delicacies he loved the most and frequently served to Patricia, Alshul, caviar. It says, when I implored Michael to tell me what he needed to feel supported in this transition, he replied, send caviar. Last night, Pat and I exchanged happy memories of Michael. AKA the most stable relationship I've ever had, joking about her longest marriage being 15 years and spending 18 years with Michael. So she was with him for 18 years and was only married 15 years. So it's very, very cute. Um, I think it's actually a very sweet, uh, loving. He was surrounded by love. It's very clear. Um, Yeah, over 20 years, she says. Um, and, he was a big mainstay on the Bravo landscape. Like, I'm pretty surprised how many Bravo accounts have posted about him. It's front page of Page 6. It's like he's gotten a lot of coverage on this. He really was a sweet, sweet, loving character. He was funny. He was a fan favorite. So, um, I thought it was very sweet. He was treated very well by her, and I believe, yeah, he was treated like family. So R.I.P. Michael, and sending all wishes to everyone that loved him, his family, his friends, and anyone that was around him. Okay. To another story. Did you guys hear this? That Menendez brothers, it looks like, according to the DA, we will probably get an announcement by the end of the week. And this is by officially my least favorite person in Los Angeles, and his name is George Gascon. Now, I am not someone that usually talks about politics in like the grand scheme of the world, but I will straight up gladly talk about politics in Los Angeles. And I've never felt more strong about wanting someone out of office than George Gascon. So if you live in Los Angeles, oh, I should get this. We had 16K off. Thank you, Bridget. If you're listening and you live in Los Angeles, I am endorsing Nathan Hochman for DA. I do not want George Gascon to win. This guy ruined Los Angeles. He is someone that doesn't believe in punishment for crime. So we don't like him. Now, I don't know about you. I'm just saying I don't like him. So he spoke today saying the Menendez brothers case, well, basically the Menendez brothers case, obviously they're bringing it back to trial because the fresh evidence is uncovered and a major decision is just around the corner. And today, or yesterday, I'm sorry, George Gascon said that by the end of the week, he's going to have a decision on whether they will be resentenced or whether they will get a new trial. A new trial could result in them getting a new sentence, and one possible outcome is a downgrade of their convictions from first-degree murder to manslaughter, which could see them walk free with time served. Gascon kept it pretty vague where he's leaning right now, but he did mention there was a split decision in his own office. He said one group, linked to the original trial, is dead set on keeping the brothers behind bars for life. The other camp believes the brothers deserve a break due to claims of being sexually assaulted by their father. His comments just came weeks after he held a press conference revealing he's reevaluating the case after a letter Eric allegedly wrote to his cousin Andy months before the murders, in which he details how his father allegedly, how many times do they write allegedly here, abused him, had resurfaced. And then also the member of this band, Menudo, Roy Rossello, claimed that he was also abused by the father, Jose. And that's that. So if there was that retrial, remember, but there was no testimony and so on and so forth. So I am curious from you guys, what do you believe? Do you believe that they will be, let go from jail? Do you think that if they are, will it happen immediately? Do you think that it will be less of a sentence? Do you think that they will go back into trial? I'm very, very interested. Billy says, I bet they are out by Christmas. So many people are out. Susan Smith, true. Yeah, Susan Smith is also up for parole. There's a lot of, this is so interesting because like we're living in a time where a lot of cases that we remember, and were very big media cases are now kind of like coming back, M. Ryan says, yes, you believe that they're going to be released, but they shouldn't be. Danny says, I hope so, but I'm not getting my hopes up, meaning you do believe that they should be. getting released. It's a really interesting thing because it comes down to a couple things, right and wrong, right? If you look at things on paper, you shall not murder. However, if you look at someone like a Gypsy Rose who murdered in the case of a self-defense, how is that different from this? Like, we're celebrating Gypsy Rose. By we, I don't mean me, but like the world celebrates her. The world gives her, press and like puts her on podcasts and red carpets. I don't know. It's a little confusing. It feels very, very tough. Now, what Michelle is saying about how the second trial was unfair since they would not allow them to have their defense put in, that I think was a huge, huge part of why they should be allowed a lesser sentence, at least a retrial. I don't think they should have to go through a retrial here, but I don't know. I think that that second retrial and then not being allowed to defend themselves in an appropriate manner was a major mistake because they weren't able to get a fair trial. It wasn't a fair trial. I mean, that was that, right? So it's a toughie. It's a toughie. I just think, Lance was saying, I was talking to him this morning because he's like, I just don't think this feels like we're giving. He didn't watch any of the documentaries. He didn't watch the movie. He didn't watch or the shows or anything. So he doesn't know the details. He just knows two boys killed parents after getting allegedly abused by them. And now they're up for potentially getting out. And he's like, it almost feels like we're saying you can kill and be, let go or released. He's like, I don't feel like it says the right message. And then he said, I wonder who's going to give them jobs? Who's going to like love on them and I said, are you joking? Kim Kardashian has their back. Like these guys are going to be fine. I don't think they're going to go and get a job at Target, if you know what I mean. Like I think if the Menendez brothers get out, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to get a podcast. That's what they're going to do. They're going to get a podcast with a YouTube show attached by a huge media company. They're going to make a gazillion dollars weekly to do their show. They're going to get paid handsomely. And their show is all going to be about life behind prison or life behind bars and being, exonerated or maybe talking to children of crime, of abuse and this and this and that. I guarantee you, like, that's what's going to happen. They're not going to get jobs. It's not like all of a sudden, like, one of them is going to be like, I think I'm going to be a policeman, right? Book deals. For sure, they're going to have a podcast. Hey, Lyle, Eric, you want to come on Daily Dose of Donna? Are you watching Real Housewives? Can you imagine tomorrow in Real Housewives, Lyle Menendez and I talk about Salt Lake City and Mary Cosby going to dance class? All right, let's move on. Before I move on, I definitely want to talk about Honey Love. Now, I am not wearing a bra today. I don't know. I mean, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. You wouldn't know. I'm not. But the truth is, Honey Love is truly the only bra I own because Honey Love is honestly, it's comfortable. It works. It supports my chest. It supports my little itty bitty titty committee, and it feels good. It does not cut into my back. I can wear it all day long. And nowadays, the truth is, we only bring out the bra for special occasions because bras are so uncomfortable. But with Honey Love, occasions don't matter anymore. You can wear them all day. You can wear it to school. Because all of us are in school right now. Hello. You can wear it to to work. You can wear it for a night out. You can wear it wherever because it's supportive and comfortable. And Honey Love has really revolutionized the wireless bra game. Their bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for uncomfortable wires and unnecessary bulk. You deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. So embrace freedom, flexibility, and comfort with Honey Love's wire-free bras. Plus, they're made with fabric, so that Oh, the fabric that is so soft, you'll forget you're wearing it. For a limited time only, you can get Honey Love on sale for 20% off your entire order with our exclusive link. Go to honeylove.com/daily dose. That's honeylove.com/daily dose and support Daily Dose of Donna. Check them out at honeylove.com/daily dose. Thank you so much. Josh says, am I the only one with the sound going out? I really hope that you are, because I will be concerned if you are. Maybe it's because I was talking about bras, Josh, and like your sound is like, I cannot compute talking about women's bras. My bra does not need to be talked about. Oh, you too? Let me try one more time. Hold on. Okay. Is it okay now? Let's hope. I can't help it with you guys. You're so difficult for us. You're just so difficult. You're difficult. You're so high maintenance, you children. All right, let's keep it going. The discount code is honeylove.com/daily dose. Again, honeylove.com/daily dose. So thank you, Honey Love, for supporting not only Daily Dose of Donna, but also all women's chests, bras, boobs, all the things. And remember, it's not just bras. They have bodysuits. They've got like undergarments. You know, if you're wearing a dress and you want to be sucked in tight, make sure to check them out. Okay, let's move on to another story. Last night, I'm sitting there just, doing my thing, scrolling my phone, and I read an article and I'm like, come again? And literally, Nicole Kidman says, I did. I did. I came and I came and I came and I came and I came again. And I said, Nicole Kidman, what are you talking about? And this is the legitimate article. And this is an Oscar winning actress. Nicole Kidman legitimately had to pause filming her new movie, Baby Girl, because she didn't want to orgasm anymore. Raise your hand in the audience if you have ever orgasmed so many times or too many times that you needed to stop. I can't handle this. I'm just orgasming too much. Said no one ever. What? 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 Cody Brown is the only person. Cody Brown is the only person that has ever said that. Ever. And it's only when he's looking at himself in a mirror. What? Guys, Hollywood is so weird. Like, celebrities are not like us. I have never, ever been in a situation where I'm like, help, I can't stop. The only time I've ever said help, I can't stop is when it's me and a bag of freaking M&Ms. Like, I literally have never said help, I can't stop unless it's me and snacks. Also, by the way, can you imagine being on a movie set, which is also like, let's read the article and then let's judge her, okay? Nicole Kidman admits in a new interview that she got so hot and bothered during the sex scenes for her upcoming erotic thriller. Every man, by the way, has just bought a ticket. Baby Girl, that she felt she wanted to shut down filming at points. There were times, I wish I could do the Aussie accent. There were times when no, I can't do it. There were times when we were shooting where I was like, I don't want to orgasm anymore. The award-winning actress, 57. She's 57. They want to remind you 57-year-olds still have orgasms, told The Sun on Tuesday. Remember, The Sun gets all of the scoop. She said, don't come near me. I hate doing this. I don't care if I'm never touched again in my life. By the way, 100% Keith Urban is sitting at home twiddling his thumbs around his little guitar and he's saying, she always tells me she's tired. She always tells me she has a headache. But she told me that she's going through menopause and she's never in the mood. It says in the upcoming rated R movie, Kidman plays a high-powered CEO who gets into an affair with a much younger man played by Harrison Dickinson. Her husband is played by Antonio Banderas. There were times when we were shooting where I was like, I don't want to orgasm anymore. The Moulin Rouge star added that she was so present all the time during the sex scenes that it was almost burnout for her, noting that she often felt pushed to a point where she was just over it. Well, that sounds more like it. Okay, let's be real. All women, let's be real. There are times where you're just like, over it. She recognized there was an enormous amount of sharing and trust and then frustration between her and her co-stars. However, Kidman pointed out that she, Dickinson, and Banderas all took enormous care in telling the film's story. We were all very, very gentle with each other and helped each other. Is this porn? What's happening? The trio also worked with an intimacy coordinator. I think his name is Mark Ward. I don't know. For the scenes. But Kidman said she and her co-stars still did not feel confined by what they were instructed to do or not to do. Let me just say something. This is going to sound awful. If a man said this is the hypocrisy. Are you ready? If a man said this, can you imagine if Antonio Banderas wrote this article or said this article? There were times during shooting with Nicole Kidman where I was like, please, I can't stop having an orgasm. Everyone would be like, you dirty, disgusting piece of disgusting horn dog, pervert, gross man. What a disgusting man. You know who was their intimacy coordinator? Brynn Whitfield. That was her intimacy coordinator. This is wild. She goes, I'm a huge believer and still in the sacredness of the set or the actor's space and it never being violated because it's ours. It's the bubble. And then there's the world outside. The Bombshell star also added that it was helpful for her to have a female director, Helena, on set because then she didn't feel exploited. I didn't think I could have done it working with a man. I only think the only way I could do this was with her because the two of us would sit and talk. The A-lister said she and the director sat down prior to filming and talked about her most secretive desires. What is happening? What is happening? We talked about so many things and still do that is so secretive and vulnerable, but it's safe, she said. So basically, it's like Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade. Like, were they like hooking up? Was she and the director was like giving her foreplay? This is crazy. The fact that this is an article. This is the picture, by the way. This is the picture. Should I make this the thumbnail of today's YouTube? This is Nicole Kidman's orgasm face. It's wild. I feel like that should be the picture. Like, Nicole walked so Brynn could run. She goes, being in the hands of Helena. Helena is the director. This is fucking weird, you guys. Being in the hands of Helena, I knew she wasn't going to exploit me. She was just going to finger bang me. Like Nicole Kidman had a lesbian experience. Why isn't she just saying this? Being in the hands of Helena. I felt very much a part of it. It's the story that I wanted to be a part of, that I wanted to tell, and every part of me was committed to that. Kidman also shared that when she read the script, she thought it was so funny, but also was turned on by it and also sort of hypnotized. This is wild. The Eyes Wide the Eyes Wide Shut star, who is married to country star Keith Urban and shares daughters Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, who are meanwhile changing their names and changing their identities and going in the freaking witness protection program because their mom, they're 16 and 13, and their mom is like orgasming all over Hollywood. Could you die? What would you do if if this was your mom and you were 13 years old? I just can't stop coming. This is an Oscar winning actress. You guys, I'm just giving you the news. I didn't make this up. This feels like an SNL script. I cannot wait for them to talk about this on SNL. If they don't talk about this on SNL, then they've missed their mark. She chatted with her family before accepting the role. Hi, honeys. Hey, kids. Mommy needs to have some fun at work. Okay. I do need to, explore myself, explore my lesbianism, and, have a little more fun. Daddy's not doing it. Daddy is too into his own physical, facial pulling. So I need to go and explore my vaginal region. Today's episode is brought to you by unhinged.com. This is wild. Do you think Sue says YouTube is going to have a field day with this podcast? If today gets demonetized because of being labeled as P to the O to the R to the N, it's your fault, not mine, Nicole. Okay. She goes, and I have teenage children who understand it. No, they don't. They don't understand it. I was a teenage daughter. I don't understand my mom in any sexual capacity, even at 43. I do not want to talk about my mom having an orgasm. At 43 years old, still, I don't want to know. And then she says, so there's a releasing of you into your artistic life, and then you come back to your home and your real life. And then the best part about this entire article, and then we'll move on, is this is on page6.com. You know how they always tag articles at the end? These are the tags. Filed under acting, Antonio Banderas, filmmaking, Nicole Kidman, orgasms. Swear to God. Filed under orgasms. Thank you so much, Page 6, for giving us a laugh today. Let's move on to Real Housewives of New York. Real Housewives of New York did not give me an orgasm. Did it give you one? It was quite, look, I'm struggling and I don't know what to do. Like Houston, we have a problem situation because it has all the elements. Like Real Housewives of New York should work. Do you guys agree? It should work. We've got sexy, beautiful, diverse, successful, actual wives, and then also single women. We've got lesbians, we've got straight women, we've got all ages. They're powerhouses. They live in New York City. They're wealthy. It's everything that you want in a housewives cast. And it ain't doing it for us. It didn't give us an orgasm like Michelle says. It gave us a snorgasm. That is an amazing term. I have never used it, but I will start to use it at all times. A snorgasm is my favorite word of all time. Okay? Okay? I am dead over snorgasm. Snorgasms. Oh my God, it's such a good term. It really is a snorgasm because nothing happens. Really, truly, I could make this recap 5 minutes. I won't, but I could because nothing really happens. It's just a lot of filler content. It really comes down to Ubah and Brynn. But of course, there's other things we can get into. I like the aesthetic of Real Housewives of New York. Like I said, I like the way they look. I like the way they dress. I like their homes. I like their fashion. I like the styles. I like their restaurants. I like the food. I like their activities. Like everything works, but the actual story of it is not doing it for me. And that to me is where we lack like the interest. And we're in, was that episode 3? I think it was episode 3. No, that was episode 4 already. So we're already on episode 4 and nothing has happened. And that's a little concerning. So obviously, at this point, by episode 4, we should already really be getting into a good storyline. Because usually it takes an episode or 2 to kind of set up the season. And it hasn't really developed anything. I mean, clearly this season is going to be the breakdown between Ubah and Brynn's relationship. Obviously, we know that at the photo shoot where they did the opening credits, which was shot 5 days or whatever after shooting ended for the season, we know that Ubah and Brynn are still not getting along. So Ubah and Brynn continue to not get along throughout the show. But it's kind of confusing why they're fighting. Does anyone really fully understand what the fight's about? And I really say this honestly, like I had to rewind and I still don't fully understand what the fight is about because now I think they're fighting about the way they're fighting. Like they started the fight and then they're fighting more and now they're fighting more and then it's fighting more about the fighting. Aaron's asking, and this is so random, but you're saying, is Donna a fan of Dave Portnoy or Barstool content? Actually, shockingly, I really like Dave Portnoy. I love his obsession with Taylor Swift. I find it fascinating. And I like the BFFs pod and I like some Barstool content. I don't like all of it. Like I like Chicks in the Office sometimes. That's so random, but I didn't want to forget. Okay, so why are we fighting? Is it because she outed Ubah's boyfriend's name? Michelle says. Um, why else are they fighting? Can someone else tell me why they're fighting? It's because we are fighting about things that happen off camera. Michelle, what? What happened off camera? Like what happened? What was the fight? It's just very confusing to me. They start the episode going to a tennis situation. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I'm not into girls like this that are like too cool to play the sports. I know these girls. They're not my girls. I like physically active people. These are all the girls that are like, they're the naturally skinny girls. I just don't like the naturally skinny girls. I don't. Just kidding. I mean, I'm jealous of you is the truth. Okay, at least I'm honest. But Erin's so excited. She's like, let's play tennis. And none of the girls want to. They're like, yeah, I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Obviously, Brynn and Ubah are still a little bit like perturbed over their fight that they had earlier at breakfast. And Ubah's not showing any remorse. It sounds like she's clearly like still, struggling a little bit. Everyone's just looking at their phones. Like no one's really into it. No one's really having fun. No one's really like getting invested or whatever. This was a moment that I actually really enjoyed, and that's when Raquel opened up about her childhood. Raquel, the new member of the cast, talked about the fact that she got her last name because she didn't take her dad's last name because her dad was seemingly one of the worst fathers, basically completely abandoned her, was an awful human being to her, and wanted nothing to do with her. And the saddest moment was when she said that she told her mom as a kid, I don't want dad's last name. Can I have yours? And her mom said, you don't want mine because my dad was horrible too. Like I could cry. And so they like literally found a last name for them. So that is so, so, so sad. It is, that made me so sad. I actually felt really bad about it. So but I love those moments. Like, I love those vulnerable moments. I love the feeling of, like, getting to know someone for their real stuff. Like, that's the part of Brynn that I really liked last season, when she was opening up and she was really sharing her true stories, and she was really sharing her true, honest feelings, and she was, you know, rather than putting on this front that I feel like she's really putting on, and it doesn't it's it, I don't know. It didn't work for me. Back to this fight of what happened off the camera is that Ubah and Brynn, I guess, had this thing at Jenna's cocktail party, which was off camera. Let me see. Brynn shared gossip, Michelle said, about some of them when they weren't filming. And then it came up at the cocktail party at Jenna's that happened before filming. It's Cheesegate all over again. This just reminds me of, like, podcasting and when they do interviews and the Jeff Lewis of it all. Like, you said this when you were on Jeff Lewis. This should be like, it should be ixnayed from the fact of, it should not be on the show. They should not be allowed to fight about things that aren't on the show. But then again, when you go back to old episodes of RHONY, like with the OG cast or OC or whatever, this happened actually all the time. If you think about it, like, they would, even RHONY, old school. I remember season 2 opened up with them talking about an article that Alex McCord or someone had done with, the Post or whatever. And they had talked about it on the opening, like they were mad about an article or an interview that was done. So this is something that has happened, but it's just a little confusing this time for me. None of it really makes sense. Yeah, it's true. Michelle says we as the audience have zero emotional equity. Now, Mark brings up something about the fact that we are not getting into the fact that one of the cast members is in a cult. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because the fact that Aaron does bring up how it's very confusing that Rebecca Minkoff can be simultaneously a Scientologist and a Jew, which completely negates both, because you can't be one and the other. You can't have two opposite religions at the same time. Like that, you can't. You can say, like, I'm not religious, but I believe this element of this and I believe this element, but you can't say I am a Jew and I am a Scientologist. Just like you can't say I am a Scientologist and I am a devout Catholic. Like, you just can't. So we do get into that, we will get into that in just a bit. So when we're driving home from tennis, I did get so sad because, and I'm sure they brought this in later because there wasn't really a point to it, but I'm sure they did this as an honor for Aaron's dad. They FaceTimed Aaron's dad. And it was clear that everyone loved Aaron's dad, especially Ubah. She was like, let's talk to your dad. I want to see your dad. And they FaceTimed him, and she was telling her dad that they were going to go home and make a Shabbat dinner and do all of that. And he was like really happy, and everyone was happy to see him on FaceTime. I thought that was sweet. And as you guys know, he did pass away right before the season started airing. So I thought that was actually nice. They went back to the house, and for some reason they decided everyone was going to be cooking, which I actually kind of liked. I was surprised by this, but everyone was going to be doing some sort of like a potluck situation. What is a pavlova? It looked phenomenal. I feel like I've had it. It's meringue and fruits. I want a pavlova. And what kind of a dessert is a pavlova? Is it Russian? Feels like a Russian situation. I would love to have a pavlova in my life. So Brynn says earlier that she does like fight or flight when she's feeling attacked. She doesn't do fight or F. She doesn't do the F and F. Well, she probably does. Brynn probably does FFF, fight, flight, or foo. And she at this point is saying she's feeling really attacked by Saya and Ubah. They hadn't said anything to her at tennis or whatever, but she just felt the energy. And I like this. Aaron was like, I've been the victim of any sort of I've been the victim of what's it called? A pylon. And I know how hard it is and I know how bad it feels. So I just felt really bad for her in the moment. I thought that was sweet. Aaron actually had a good episode this week. I thought you saw like a lighter side of her. We saw her having fun, playing tennis, laughing, pranking, all of that. Because last week we did not see a fun episode of her. Of course, we see the girls over at market. This was actually kind of a fun scene. Like, I would see an entire supermarket sweep episode with just Jessel. Jessel at a supermarket is content that I want. Like, move over, Bethany. Let's see Jessel go to a supermarket. This is Jessel going, and they're kind of giving her questions about, how much do you think things are? Jessel doesn't go grocery shopping. She's the mother of twins, like little twins. Can you imagine being so lucky in life that you don't have to go grocery shopping? Does she just Instacart everything, or does she have a nanny that goes grocery shopping? Or is that just Pavitt? Pavitt? What do you think it is? I'm so interested by this. So she guesses, actually, she doesn't guess that off, but can you imagine that in the Hamptons, a half a gallon of milk is $9? I almost fell over. $9. I think it's about, organic, like Horizon organic milk. I think it's about $6 here in LA. The eggs were about 7 or 8. That feels like a little bit realistic. I feel like that feels right. And then what else was it? I can't remember what else she had to guess on. But I thought that was kind of cute. Like they were asking her all of the questions about, her money. Now, or her guesses on the money. So meanwhile, Brynn is kind of depressed and Jenna decides to give her diamonds. I can't get on board with Jenna Lyons, you guys. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm trying. I am trying so hard to like Jenna Lyons. I am just struggling. There is some sort of disconnect between Jenna Lyons and I. I don't know. I don't know why. Am I alone? I need to know your thoughts on Jenna Lyons. So, oh yeah, she thought avocado oil was $5 and it's $16. She was off on a few things. So then, when they were at the market, she starts talking about eggs. And she starts talking about how she spends $1,100 to store her eggs in a Beverly Hills lab. I don't know. I have never done IVF, knock on, wood. I was lucky to not have to. I thought I was going to have to at some point. But there was one moment there was one moment where I felt like for those of you that like had to do this and have embryos stored, can you transfer them to cheaper banks or labs? Is there really like cheaper places to store them? Are they choosing to store them in the most expensive of the most expensive? I know Beverly Hills has some very, very top of the line reproductive infertility doctors. My dad used to work for one of them or two of them here, Danzer and Surrey and Beverly Hills. So I know them well. And there's like the Kardashian ones that they went to and Chrissy Teigen and all of them. So I know that there's like some big ones here. How does that work? Can you transfer them? I can't even imagine. Now, Sarah, I'm dead over your comment. I think the same every time. Oh my God, Sarah, that's so mean though. I don't know if I can say it out loud. So, so they're talking about her eggs, and she's like, I really want a third. Do you think Jessel should have a third? Like, I want her to have a third, but I don't feel like Jessel is a super hands-on parent. I feel like Jessel wants a third just to like dress the baby. I don't know if Jessel really wants to have a third. It's really, really interesting to me. But Sai's like, I will do it. And then Ubah's like, can't you just store those embryos in your fridge? Like, what's going on? $1,100? So funny. Pavitt's like, I don't want a third because I do it all. I have to go to the market. I have to go to the market all the time. So they come back to the house and they're just kind of chilling. Everyone's cooking. Everyone's getting ready for Shabbat. And then, Jessel's making her lovely potatoes. Raquel is grilling and they're having a nice time. And then they sit down for dinner. Everyone looks nice. And that's when they decide to prank the Pavlova with the cockroach. I'm not into it. I hate a prank. One thing you can know about me is I am not the person to prank, and I will never be the person to prank you. I hate pranking. I hate pranks. It's just not for me. Now they all get ready for Shabbat. They look beautiful, by the way. Every single last one of them. They're all gorgeous. They're all beautiful. And they sit down at dinner and they actually have like a really nice dinner. I don't think anything crazy happens at dinner. Did anything happen at dinner? Like, I think they all just had a really nice time, which is why it's like a good show, but it's also a little bit like sleepy. Now, in this one scene is when Aaron is doing the kiddush, which is when you're doing the, Baruch atah Adonai and that whole thing. She forgets one of the parts of the prayers, and Rebecca Minkoff comes in and gives it to her. And then that's when she says, so briefly, 2 seconds we get in the on the fly interview or on the confessional or whatever, where she says, I just don't know how she can be both religions. Why are we not talking about this? Because Rebecca Minkoff is giving us -0, -700 for the show. Why is this woman on the show? Why? Unless the latter half of the season, we get some crazy, crazy, amazing, wonderful, phenomenal shit coming out of this girl, we have absolutely nada, nothing. She talked about the fact that she has a baby that she's breastfeeding. I had no idea she even had a kid. Do you guys remember that? She has there's nothing interesting about her except for the fact that she's a Scientologist. I don't care that she's Rebecca Minkoff behind the designer bags. Don't care. So the fact that we have a known Scientologist who talks about Scientology, who's done interviews about Scientology on Real Housewives of New York, and it's not a conversation, bye. I'm done with you. You're not showing, and maybe that's part of why I'm done with Jenna. You're not showing us your life. I'm done with you. I don't want to see it. Not interested. Um, yeah, Jenna and Rebecca, like Raquel's giving us so much. We've learned so much about Raquel already. We learned about her childhood. We've met the girlfriend or the fiance. We've met, are they married or just engaged? We've met, I think just engaged. We've met her kids. Like we've been in her apartment. We've seen her art. Like I love Raquel already. That's the thing. That's all you need to do. You just need to open up and share your story and just be honest and be open. Anyway, they start talking about buttholes, licking buttholes. Like, is Tamara on the show now? I don't want to talk about licking buttholes. Sometimes it does go over the line, even for Daily Dose of Donna. Even for Daily Dose of Donna. What's happening? You guys are so much talking about Mike Shoehead from Shaws of Sunset in the comments. Like, I'm dying. Did something new happen? Because I've been catching up on season 9 every night now. That's like my relaxation station is season 9 of Shaws of Sunset. Currently, they're in Palm Springs playing polo with Paulina. You guys, I can do a Persian accent. I worked on it all last night for you. I just don't know. I think I want some I think hold on. It's Shabbat. I want some hummus with some chicken, and listen, I don't want your smelly body near me. I want to have a fun night, and tell me, Mercedes, I want you to go away from me because you smell bad and I don't want to fight. I worked on it all night for you. Anyway, so it's nighttime. They all go to bed. All is good. Then in the morning, we have this guy, Jake. He is, I was told by Michelle, she sent me a DM last night saying, okay, so you guys are saying they posted a video where Mike abused Paulina and it's online. But is it new? I thought that happened a long time ago. Mark Ward says, "Thanks, Donna. We'll call you." So I didn't get the role for the next Reza. Too bad. I can speak 2 lines in Farsi. خیلی دوست دارم. من تدیگ به خورش دوست دارم. So this is the breakfast that made me decide, I don't know if I can do it. I will do it. Of course I'll do it, but I don't know if I can do it. Because they bring in this amazing chef that Michelle told me to follow. His name is Jake Cohen. He's got 1 million followers on Instagram, by the way, and he's a Jewish food influencer. And he came in, he made this beautiful breakfast spread for everyone. and he's cooking breakfast, and all the girls come into breakfast. And this is the moment where I wanted to die, because Brynn says to Rebecca Minkoff, or no, Becca Minkoff comes in and she's like, you guys are all dressed up so nice. Like, I'm in sweats. I wish I got the memo. And Brynn says to her, yeah, I mean, you brought so many suitcases. And Rebecca goes, yeah, I know. I only wore like half of one suitcase. So the conversation moves on. And then Brynn goes to her quietly. The camera kind of scrolls away, but Brynn goes to her quietly and says, so that would be a good moment where like you could give it back to me. You should say something like, I own a clothing line, and all you do is sell sweatshirts at BravoCon. Like, you should give it back to me, or else you. And then Rebecca goes, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know that, or thanks, girl. And she goes, yeah, or else you won't be back. Brynn says this to Rebecca, and they kept it in the show, which to me is breaking fourth wall more than anything we've ever seen on any franchise on Real Housewives before. Because this was not, how do you stay in this friend group? This was not, how do you become more funny? This was, how do you become a better housewife so that you have a good season and you get a second season? That's all that was. That was a moment right there where Brynn was coaching Rebecca Minkoff on how to be a housewife. It was so outrageous. It was so like cross the line of what we should ever see on a housewife show. It was totally, it pulled me out from the scene so much, and it made me realize so much how performative people like Brynn are, that now I can never get on board. Brynn coached Rebecca Minkoff on how to housewife, and the editors left it in, so much so that every cut left it in, including Andy Cohen. What were they thinking? How to Be a Housewife by Brynn Whitfield. So this is how you do it, okay? When I say things like that, you should come back at me and you should give me shade. Was that for real? I couldn't believe it, you guys. I had to rewind it like 6 times. I was like, this can't be. You saw the clip, right? It was on a lot of people posted it on Instagram. I hope it doesn't. It was that big that I don't care. Like, I'm going to show it to you guys, and I hope that they don't catch it. But it was so shocking to me. And I really don't know why they would leave it in. I really don't know what they were thinking about it, and like what was the point of it. So here, this was the screenshots. She goes, so when I give you shit about wearing the same thing, you can be like, I have a clothing brand. You sold sweatshirts at BravoCon. Here's the clip of it.
That's gonna go. Perfect. So I can wearing the same thing. You know, you can like, be like, I have a clothing brand. You sold sweatshirts. It is.
What? I don't want to see that. I'm Valerie cherishing my way through this. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That was really bad. Now, meanwhile, the breakfast continues. Oh, I totally skipped through the whole throwing up last night because it was so gross. I'll just like touch on it really fast. After this cockroach comes out of the pavlova because she got pranked, Ubah thought it was real, got so sick, ran upstairs, actually started vomiting. The cameras went into the bathroom with her. We heard it. Sai went in, started vomiting. The cameras followed Sai. We see Ubah and Sai now throwing up together. Everyone's in there. Ugh, I don't want to see that. Snorgasm. It was really bad. So they have this conversation in the breakfast, and Ubah comes downstairs and she says, what was the first line that she said to kind of start the conversation to Brynn? She said, she goes and gives Brynn a hug. And she goes, did you guys hear last night? I went to their room. Aaron says, you guys love each other. And both of us, Brynn and I, were like, yes, of course we do. Yes, we do. And she says, I love you. Brynn says, I love you too. And then Brynn says, I'm like, Ubah's talking. Brynn says, I'm not going to cut you off anymore. And then Ubah says, well, you just did. And I guess what's happening is that Ubah feels like Brynn keeps interrupting her. And this is where it's all confusing to me. Okay. Brynn says that Ubah keeps feeling that she gets interrupted by Brynn. She feels like she is shut down and silenced by Brynn. She keeps saying, every time I'm talking to someone else, you keep telling me to be quiet. And then she does the no, 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 which we've heard now a bunch of times through the season. And even Brynn is kind of like making a thing about it later on in the trailer for next week's episode, that this is like Ubah's thing. She keeps saying the no, no, no. Now, we know culturally Ubah's first language is not English. And so we've talked about this before. But this is where it gets a little tricky, because Brynn said something to Ubah the night before where Ubah was kind of yelling at her. And Brynn, I guess, and I want to get all the words perfectly correctly, Ubah says, every time I'm out of alignment, it's because of Brynn. She side chicks me. When I'm having a conversation with someone else, let me finish. She starts to get it a little emotional to Brynn. And she goes, I don't get mad. I don't scream unless you mean something to me. And Aaron says, this was where it was confusing. Aaron says, last night I pulled Ubah in the room and I said, you guys mean something to each other. I know you guys love each other. And then Brynn got off the bed, Ubah says, and then Brynn got off the bed and she came to me and she touched my face and said, like, please use your words when you're speaking. And then Brynn says, I was like, Ubah, I don't want you to come off angry. Aaron says, she kept saying, I don't want you to come off angry. Aaron says, there were a couple things that I was like, oh, she shouldn't have said that. Then Brynn says, I told her, I don't want Oliver to see this. I don't want you coming off like an angry Black woman. I don't like it. And then Aaron says, don't say that. And then Brynn says, shut up, Aaron. You're not Black. You don't know. Shut up. And Aaron says, Ubah said, don't tell me how to behave. And that's when Ubah gets really, angry and upset. I'm passionate when I'm speaking. I'm getting mad at you. Don't do that, And she gets kind of really passionate. And meanwhile, Brynn starts to talk and she kind of can't get in. She can't get her words in. It keeps going on and on and on. She says to Brynn, you're very condescending. You speak down to people. And then Brynn says, I'm going to talk now. I want us to come from a place of respect. And, you can't call me names. And then she says, but here's the thing. And then Ubah immediately cuts her off and starts to talk and says disrespectful and condescending. And she's basically saying, like, I called you a snake and a liar because you're condescending. I would never call you a snake and a liar unless you were condescending. But if you're going to be condescending, I will call you a snake again. And then, doesn't basically steamrolls Brynn, doesn't allow Brynn to speak. And then Brynn gets really upset at all the other girls saying, like, how could you allow her to do that? I don't even have a chance to say anything. None of it really made a lot of sense to me. I'm going to be honest. Ubah came downstairs and gave her a hug and then fought her. Like, why? What happened? What is happening? I don't also like Brynn going to Ubah and holding her cheeks and saying, don't do this. You're going to come off as an angry Black woman. Like, I don't think Ubah in any way comes off angry when she's passionate. There's a difference between passion and anger. Like, I'm Israeli. My family speaks in a very passionate way. A lot of European families do this. A lot of Middle Eastern people do this. I don't think there's anger and passion. I don't think Ubah ever comes off angry when she's passionate. There's a difference between anger and passionate. Like Sai sometimes comes off angry. Do you know what I mean? There's like a very different kind of an energy. I don't know specifically exactly. Michelle says getting into this when you aren't a person of color is not a good move for Aaron. No, I disagree, Michelle. She was just trying to calm down the situation. I don't think she was trying to tell Brynn, that she doesn't have a right to say it. I just think that, I think a lot of, from what I've seen online, I think fans that are of color, and I could be wrong, but tell me if you guys are, seeing differently. But from what I saw online, people are not happy with Brynn's comments. People feel very upset about Brynn's comments. Let me see if I can find that article where I read about it. Real Housewives of New York fans outraged over Brynn Whitfield's angry Black woman comment. It says Real Housewives of New York. Let me find. The comments sent a slew of fans to social media to call out Brynn for the comments in a new episode. Is anyone else getting tired of Brynn? Everything she does is forced and fake. It's a problem if Aaron was able to tell if the comment was inappropriate and Brynn didn't. Brynn knows what she's doing, and I'm tired of her only claiming her Blackness when she wants to do some manipulative bullshit. It's insulting. Someone said, Brynn being a biracial woman, policing Ubah's Blackness just shows how uncomfortable she is with her African-American side. How dare Brynn say that Ubah is becoming a stereotypical angry Black woman? Anger is a normal emotion. Stop the racial tropes. So on and so forth. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I also didn't like that. I didn't feel it at all. That being said, the episode itself was like a 5 out of 10. There were some fun moments and a lot of not. It's a lot. I think Ubah's a lot. I think Brynn's a lot. Shockingly, Sai is very, very second banana. Jenna, I can't look at her. I can't watch her. I'm not interested in her. I am bored by her. No one else is very interesting to me. I mean, Erin is a little bit bore snore. She's a snorgasm. Jessel's fun, but also not bringing so much. Like it's kind of a dud. It's a dud of a season. So that is that for today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here and sharing the hour with me. I love you guys very much. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that you'll be here tomorrow. Thank you for helping me get to 16,000, and I will see you mañana. Bye.